Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you today about something powerful, something rooted not in games, not in secrets, but in strength, in wisdom, and in survival. The title might catch your ear. A woman must always hide 3 things from a man. And now don't get it twisted. This isn't about trickery. This is about protecting your peace. This is about self-preservation in a world that too often demands you bear it all, only to turn that truth into weakness. See, this ain't about hiding to deceive. This is about hiding to preserve, to protect what's sacred, to maintain control over what should never be handed away without care. Because when a woman keeps these 3 things in check, her pain, her plans, and her passion, she walks with power, not dependence. She stands in her truth, not under someone else's shadow. So remember this, not everything that can be said should be. Not every truth needs a witness. Some things, they belong to you, and only you. The first thing a woman must hide is her deepest pain. That wound that shaped her, the heartbreak that built her resilience, the scars that taught her how to walk alone. Why? Because not every man is worthy of that history. Some will honor it, but others will use it. And a woman must know, just like a fortress guards its most sacred chambers, so too must she guard the story that forged her fire. Absolutely. Here's an in-depth explanation of the first point, why a woman must always hide her deepest pain from a man, written in an educational and reflective tone as requested. Pain is a teacher. It is the silent sculptor behind a woman's strength, confidence, and wisdom. When a woman goes through betrayal, abandonment, or emotional devastation, those experiences don't just disappear. They shape how she sees the world, how she guards herself, how she trusts, and how she loves. These scars may not be visible, but they carry weight, they carry memory. But not every man deserves to read that book, because sharing deep pain is not simply an act of storytelling. It's an unveiling of one's soul. And once a person sees you at your most vulnerable, what they do with that knowledge can either become a bond or a weapon. There is a tendency in relationships to believe that complete transparency is the key to intimacy. That if you love someone, you owe them the entire truth of who you are, including your trauma, your regrets, your lowest moments. But true intimacy doesn't require the complete exposure of your wounds. It requires trust, consistency, and safety. The problem is not every man can offer that. Some will listen to your pain with empathy and care, but others, consciously or unconsciously, may begin to treat you through the lens of your past. Your pain becomes your identity in their eyes. You become the woman who was cheated on, or the woman who was abandoned by her father, or the woman who never felt good enough. And even if they don't say it, you will feel it in their tone and their reactions, and how they navigate arguments, disagreements, or moments of vulnerability. A woman's deepest pain is sacred. It is not baggage to be unloaded, nor is it a confession to be demanded. It is a private chapter in her personal book of becoming. Sharing it too soon, or with the wrong man, can shift the power dynamic in a relationship. It can make her appear weaker to someone who doesn't understand emotional complexity. Some men are emotionally mature, emotionally safe, and emotionally generous, but not all. And until a woman knows the kind of man she is dealing with, her deepest pain must remain hers to hold. Sometimes a man will ask about a woman's past, not out of concern, but out of curiosity or control. He may want to know what broke her so he can avoid responsibility or tailor his actions to avoid consequences. Others might want to know simply to satisfy a desire to feel needed, to play the role of rescuer. But if a woman relies on someone else to heal her by exposing her rawest wounds, she is giving them more than information. She is giving them emotional control. Healing must be self-led. And healing doesn't always mean sharing everything. It means knowing what to protect, who to trust, and when to speak. There's also the truth that pain, once spoken aloud, loses a part of its personal clarity. The moment you put words to your suffering, you invite interpretation, you invite analysis, and with that, sometimes judgment. A man might hear about your childhood trauma and feel uncomfortable because he doesn't know how to handle it. He might hear about a toxic ex and secretly compare himself to that man. He might even start assuming you're emotionally fragile, even when you've shown nothing but resilience. That's the danger. You hand someone a chapter and they write the rest of the book in their mind. This isn't about suppression. This is about selection. A woman can and should speak about her pain, but only when she chooses and only when the listener has shown he is emotionally intelligent, kind, and steady. You don't hand a stranger your most precious possessions. You don't unlock your safe just because someone asks. Your pain isn't a test, it's a trust, and trust must be earned. In a society where women are often expected to over-explain themselves, to justify their reactions, prove their strength through exposure, keeping pain private is a radical act of self-respect. It means you understand the difference between transparency and self-betrayal. It means you know that your history, your healing, and your hurt do not define your worth, and you're not obligated to relive it just to be accepted by someone else. Pain is not shame. Pain is not weakness. It is a record of battles survived, of nights endured, of strength silently formed. It is a source of power when owned and protected. And that's why a woman must be careful. Not every man deserves the honor of witnessing their journey, not because he's bad, but because he might not be ready. Or worse, he might misuse it. A woman who knows this does not become cold. She becomes wise. She becomes intentional. And above all, she remains in control of her own narrative. The second thing is her next move. A queen doesn't explain the entire play before she makes it. Strategy is not secrecy, it's wisdom. A woman must never feel obligated to narrate every dream, every plan, every idea. Some things grow better in silence. Let your actions speak before your words ever need to. Let the results be your response. A woman must always hide her next move from a man, not to be secretive or manipulative, but to protect her path, preserve her vision, and move with purpose undisturbed. There is a powerful truth in understanding that not every intention needs to be announced. And not every goal should be shared before it's achieved. And when a woman learns to protect her plans, she begins to walk in a level of self-control that demands respect, not permission. She is no longer waiting for validation to take the next step, nor is she seeking applause before the journey is complete. She simply moves and lets the results speak. The idea of keeping your next move to yourself is rooted in strategy, not secrecy. In relationships, especially early on, it is easy to feel the pressure to be open about every detail of your life. You might feel compelled to share your business plans, your career aspirations, your financial goals, your dreams for the future, all in the name of a transparency. But the truth is, not everyone knows what to do with your vision. Some people hear your ideas and begin to doubt them out loud. They throw subtle shade, they insert their fears into your confidence. And before you know it, you've lost momentum. Not because your plan was flawed, but because you allowed someone into a space they weren't qualified to enter. Some men, without even meaning to, will discourage you from moving forward simply because your ambition makes them uncomfortable. Your independence might challenge their sense of control. Your progress might highlight their lack of direction. And so they start planting seeds of hesitation. Are you sure that's a good idea? Or what if it doesn't work out? Or why not wait? Those questions might seem harmless, but they can be dream killers when spoken at the wrong time by the wrong person. That's why your next move must remain yours, silent, sacred, and steady. There's also a psychological shift that happens when you talk too much about what you're going to do. Speaking your plans out loud can create a false sense of achievement. It tricks the brain into thinking you've already accomplished something just because you discussed it. The danger in that is you might feel satisfied just talking about your goals instead of taking action toward them. A woman who understands this knows that silence is not weakness, it's discipline. When you keep your plans to yourself, you are directing all your energy toward execution, not explanation. In a relationship, the balance of power often shifts based on how much each person knows about the other's intention. If you constantly reveal your next move, whether it's financial, personal, or professional, you give someone else a map to your life. And if that person does not truly have your best interest at heart, they may reroute you subtly without you realize. They may guilt you into prioritizing their plans over yours. They may distract you, delay you, or worse, discourage you. Not because they don't see your vision as clearly as you do. That's why protecting your next move isn't selfish. It's survival. There's a quiet power in watching a woman who moves without broadcasting every step. She finishes her degree without posting every exam. She starts her business without announcing every client. She makes investments, builds networks, relocates, elevates, all without explaining herself. And then one day people look up and wonder, when did she do all that? The answer is, while no one was watching, while she was focused, while she was intentional. And because she didn't have to fight off unnecessary opinions or insecurities, she made it all happen faster, cleaner, and stronger. It's important to understand that not every man is a safe space for your dreams. Sometimes a man wants to feel needed, and if your plan makes you look too independent, he might feel threatened. Sometimes a man is insecure, and your forward motion reminds him of his stagnation. Sometimes a man is loving but not visionary. He simply can't see what you see, and trying to explain a vision to someone without your eyes is exhausting. So why not protect your peace? Why not move in silence and let your success do the explaining later? This doesn't mean you must isolate yourself or shut out the world. It means you choose wisely who gets to know what. You choose timing. You choose maturity. You choose strategy. Because a woman who is always announcing her next move can be interrupted. A woman who is always explaining herself can be redirected. But a woman who guards her steps, she becomes unstoppable. When a woman stops needing to be seen and starts focusing on becoming, she levels up in ways that don't require approval. Her plans don't get derailed by doubt. Her direction doesn't shift with someone else's opinion. She builds quietly, she moves confidently, and she shines when the time is right, not when the crowd is watching. That kind of energy is rare, it's respected, and it's deeply, deeply powerful. And the third thing is the depth of her love. I'm not saying she shouldn't love. I'm saying she shouldn't love blindly. Don't hand over your entire heart like a blank check and expect it to be cashed in kindness. A woman's love is a garden, beautiful, rich, and alive. But every garden needs a gate. Let him earn the key. Let him deserve what blooms. A woman must always hide how much she truly loves a man. Not because love should be hidden or because vulnerability is weakness, but because revealing the full depth of her heart too soon, too easily, or too freely can change the dynamics of a relationship in ways she may not see coming. Love, when poured without boundaries, can shift from a gift to a tool, sometimes unintentionally misused, sometimes taken for granted. And a woman who shows the full weight of her love too quickly risks surrendering emotional power in a space that should be equal. When a woman loves deeply, she doesn't just give affection. She gives attention, time, loyalty, forgiveness, and energy. She pours herself into the relationship, often without measuring how much is being reciprocated. But love, though pure and beautiful, should never be lopsided. The moment a man senses that he has her fully, without earning that level of depth or matching it with equal effort, the balance begins to tip. Not because all men are unworthy, but because human nature, when unchallenged, tends to lean into comfort. When someone knows you'll stay no matter what, they stop trying as hard to make you stay. There is something magnetic about a woman who loves but keeps a part of herself reserved. It creates mystery, creates respect. It keeps the man aware that while her heart is invested, It's not enslaved. 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 She can care deeply without collapsing emotionally if he pulls away. That kind of emotional discipline doesn't make her cold. It makes her wise. It shows she understands the value of her love and doesn't give it away as if it were endless and easy. She gives it in portions and seasons based on consistency, not just chemistry. When a woman wears her love on her sleeve too soon, it can invite manipulation. Not always intentional, but subtle. A man might begin to test boundaries, knowing she will forgive. He might stop doing the small things that once made her feel seen, assuming her love will cushion the fall. He might prioritize his own desires, trusting that she will continue to prioritize him, no matter how she feels in return. And in doing so, the relationship becomes one-sided, not because the love is gone, but because the urgency to maintain it has disappeared. Emotional transparency should be a reward, not a starting point. A woman should allow a man to discover her heart layer by layer through his actions, through time, through trust. When she rushes to prove her love, it puts her in a position of emotional exposure without protection. And in relationships, exposure without reciprocation becomes exhaustion. That's why it's wise to love slowly, to reveal feelings with intention, not desperation. Let love unfold, don't unravel it all at once. A woman's love is powerful. It motivates, it heals, it inspires. But it can also become a trap if she's not careful. When she gives too much too soon, she begins to center the relationship around the man, not the mutual bond. Her decisions start revolving around what he wants, how he feels, and what will make him stay. She loses her balance. She compromises her standards. She quiets her voice to avoid conflict, all because she has allowed her love to become louder than her logic. And the moment love overtakes boundaries, self-respect begins to slip. The irony is that men often value what they have to earn. When a man has to pursue to show consistency, to prove he is worthy of deeper access, he becomes more engaged. But when everything is handed to him emotionally, when he is flooded with affection, praise, and presence before showing true investment, he often pulls back. Not because he's cruel, but because he hasn't been required to rise. That's why a woman must be careful with how much she reveals emotionally. She should feel love, enjoy love, even express love. But she should never abandon her emotional leverage in the process. There's a certain strength and subtlety. A woman can show appreciation, she can give affection, she can nurture and support, all while keeping the full depth of her love guarded until she sees that it is safe to give more. She doesn't need to say, "I love you" 10 times a day. Her energy, her presence, her peace is enough. And if the man is truly attuned, he will feel her care through her actions, without her having to announce every beat of her heart. And if he is not attuned, then he may not be the man meant to carry such love in the first place. In a world that often teaches women to prove their worth through emotional giving, it is powerful to learn restraint, to love, but not lose yourself, to feel deeply but still move wisely, to give but never more than is being returned. Not every emotion needs to be confessed. Some feelings are meant to be observed, protected, and slowly shared as trust builds. Because love, when given in the right time to the right man in the right measure, is not only powerful, it is transformative. But when it is given too freely to the wrong man, it becomes pain disguised as passion. And that's why a woman must always hide how much she truly loves, until love is no longer a risk but a home. Ladies and gentlemen, when a woman learns to protect her emotions, guard her intentions, and shield her deepest love, not from a place of fear, but from wisdom, she reclaims her power in relationships and in life. She becomes intentional, not impulsive. She becomes guided by purpose, not persuaded by pressure. In a world that constantly demands her openness, her ability to hold certain things back becomes her strength. She knows when to speak, when to move, and when to love without ever giving more than what's earned. That isn't secrecy. That's strategy. That isn't distance. That's discernment. And that ultimately is how she keeps her peace, her dignity, and her destiny intact. Good luck to every woman walking her path with strength and subtlety. May you move with grace, protect your heart, and never forget the power of keeping a little mystery. Thank you for listening. Stay wise, stay focused, and stay true.